Well, welcome back to another strange week of crime in the news. So today, got several cases that I wanted to kind of touch on. Well, not one case in particular, but three in particular that I wanted to touch on and bring your attention to in case you just haven't been paying attention, or maybe you've been busy this past week. So first off, we're going to talk about Johnny Damon. Johnny Damon, the retired baseball player who played 18 years in the major leagues, was arrested on the 11th for a DUI. His wife was also arrested at the same time for obstructing an officer and resisting arrest. And they were coming back from a social event that night, but he was arrested, and he said that he believes that he was targeted because he is a Trump supporter. Now, I'm not making this political, but it doesn't really match up with the actual circumstances, because the actual dash cam footage that can be seen online shows that he was swerving in, not staying in his lane of traffic. So it gave more than probable cause for the officer, and according to the dash cam, I can't see why it'd be edited, because they showed the worst part of it. But it showed him not staying in his lane of traffic, and he was arrested for DUI. So good luck there, Johnny Damon, with fighting that DUI. With all the money he has, he probably will get it pleaded down to something, like reckless driving or something along those lines, because we all know the more money you have, the less likely you are to spend any time in jail, because that is our justice system. Was not necessarily just a case that with of certain individuals, but it kind of does. But at the same time, the state of Utah has made it. They have decriminalized polygamy in the state of Utah. So polygamy is now legal in the state of Utah. So in case or you you would like to take you and your 7 wives someplace, you can now go to Utah, because they have decriminalized polygamy. And what brought it to the attention of the world was the Duggar family, the the stars behind the reality show, Sister Wives. Now say that, hey, look, we're no longer felons for what we've been doing all this time, anyways. But the state of Utah has decriminalized polygamy. So again, you want to go somewhere and marry 7 wives and keep up with that? Good luck to you. Usually one wife is more than enough for most men out there, but not him. He needs 5 or 6 apparently, and it still isn't enough. So, and we already know about the other issues with that family, and the child molestation, from one of the family members. But you know what? Polygamy's legal now in Utah, so good luck with hanging out with the sister wives. So the final case that I wanted to bring to your attention was the tragic death and murder of a social influencer who was better known for her videos on TikTok, on Instagram, and other social media. I'm not aware if she had a YouTube channel or not, but she was murdered by her boyfriend, Brianca Devins. Now, to give you a little bit of background on the situation, what led up to the actual murder, and why it's so tragic. I mean, besides the fact that a human life was taken in this case, Brianca and her boyfriend had gone out to a concert that night, and on their way home to her place, they had gotten into an argument in their SUV, and he just, for whatever reason, he there was no trial, so we don't know what the actual circumstances beyond that is, but there was an argument in the vehicle, and it had escalated along the way and got worse and worse as they got to her place. And as they got there and they were getting out of the vehicle, he pulled out a knife and fatally stabbed her in the parking lot there. While her body was laying on the ground, he, this is sick, But he got out and he put a tarp over her and then laid on the ground and pulled out his cell phone and snapped several last minute selfies of himself along with her and then posted them to the internet. And then he stabbed himself in the neck as probably an attempt to commit suicide along with her because he said he would never leave her. But the tragic part of it, besides the fact that he, did this to her, he and posted it on social media, is the haters out there, the people who didn't like her and people who didn't like, her influence or whatever she was about, whatever the reason was, they started using her photo, her death photo of him, in their selfie as their profile pictures on social media. Instagram and a couple other social media sites worked, feverishly to take down the photo for from people who were using it and sharing it, along with using it as their thumbnail. But the photo can still be seen on Bing and on Google if you just Google her name, and people are still using it to this day. They've just altered the photo slightly, but it's still the death photo. Now, Brianca's sister was also on, had a pretty good social media presence. The entire family has had to close down all social media because they don't want to be reminded and see the death photo of Brianca Devin every single time that they log online. And like I said, just doing a quick cursory Google search, I found the image and it came up the very first image on Google. So Google obviously still hasn't removed it. And it again, I checked with Bing. Yeah, surprised Bing's still in business, but Bing is it comes up on Bing images with search of her name as well. But not only did they lose Brianca, the tragic loss of a human life, but they have to see those photos. He survived. He was rushed to the hospital, and they did save his life. And he had just a tiniest little bit of morals in his body, and care for the family, and did spare them having to go through a trial for this. And he took a plea agreement. He will have to do, I think, 17 years minimum before he's eligible for parole. And they did, spare him life. They didn't file a capital murder case against him. That was part of the plea agreement. No capital murder, case, charges against him, and he would be eligible for parole eventually after serving. I think he has to serve a little over 60% of the sentence before his first eligible parole date would be. And the family said that they will not seek to block any parole. Facebook in particular, because it's been these photos are being traded around on Facebook like they're the hottest pick of the new celebrity right now. There was no rhyme or reason to do it. He's just a sick individual, but he took responsibility for what he did. There is that. So that's the cases that I wanted to share with you today. I hope everyone had a great week, and if I don't see you between now and the end of the week on one of my live streams, I hope that you have a wonderful weekend and stay safe out there.